We're off. Luke Keeler, thank you very much for coming in.
No problem.
This is a long time coming, isn't it? We met a couple of years ago nearly at this stage.
Slow morning kind of the last couple of years where I fought a couple of times in Ireland.
Yeah.
I won the Irish title, but it was kind of just stop start, you know, with dates. Not that
you
busy.
you were
no plan, like, you know.
Yeah, but you were working. But like I went to see you were the headline. You were the main event in the what's it called?
Stadium, yeah.
Yeah, in the stadium. Yeah.
Yeah, look, I had them couple of fights in England with Matchroom, and I lost, say, against Tom Doran. I got stopped. Remember that fight? It was a 2-round battle, like. So I had him down, he had me down. It was a good learning experience. That's about it. But like I had that fight, and then I kind of came back to Dublin. Then no more fights at Matchroom, and start building in Dublin.
Yeah.
Like start, say, in the National Stadium. It was kind of slow one. The shows weren't like planned or set dates, and you know, it was there wasn't any structure to it. So I made a decision to sign with MTK. So
Mark the Knife.
Yeah. I signed with them, and they had a plan and structure in place, and like that support there from them, say, allowed me to make the leap, say, of giving up the job. So,
but I suppose there's a textbook. They have the textbook, don't they?
Yeah.
They go, well, you join us. This is your There's no more fluting around in circles.
Because to be honest, like I made the jump, giving up work at Christmas, and
what were you doing before that?
I'd done a degree in structural engineering, but I just kind of sidetracked off. I was commissioning engineering, was called.
Oh, I'm a civil engineer as well.
Yeah. I was in DIT for 4 years. I done a degree there, but that's I was always kind of busy with work, college, and I never committed fully. And then, say, my last performance was the Irish title. I was kind of sickened of myself. Like, I wasn't happy with the performance. I won the belt, say.
You broke your hand in that one.
Yeah, man, the hand.
Yeah, I never saw anybody look more fucking relaxed through it. You look like an accountant.
You the last fight.
Yeah, that one in Ireland.
Yeah.
I was watching it, like, because everybody else, they looked, you know what I mean, they looked like they were in a scrap.
Yeah.
Even though he was an army bloke, wasn't he?
Yeah.
His lads were clearly just left off the fucking barracks for the weekend.
Yeah.
It was an animal pit. These lads had to be held back.
Yeah.
Like, there was a bunch of travellers for Steve Collins' fight, and they were wild. But these fucking army lads were absolute fucking lunatics. Like, that security had to hold them back. But you seemed, I don't know, just your facial expression seemed so relaxed, and you broke your fucking hand in like the second round or something.
Oh, I think it was the third round, but the fight. I'll tell you the story before that goes. Like, in September gone there. I got surgery in my shoulder. So say 2.5 years ago, I had a tear in my shoulder, and he said to get surgery. But I just kind of, he said I'd be out for 6 months, and it was kind of starting to kick off. I said, I'll try physio.
Yeah.
I'll try a few things, and it didn't work. So I was kind of dragging on with that. I was in pain. So I went through that Jordan fight. It wasn't at my best. So I said, look, I'd either retire or give her everything. So I went, got the surgery done.
Yeah.
And loads of changes. Signed with MTK, put a structure in place, and gave up the job. You know.
How did the MTK thing come around? Like, were you in chats, or did they go?
Yeah.
They scout you, like, because obviously they would have known about you.
I was in chats with them before, and never signed. Kind of going in a different direction with Matchroom, and I never committed, kind of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I signed with them then, and it was the best thing I've done. You know, kind of way.
Yeah.
It's just it gives you peace of mind having the dates in place. You know, kind of way. It's hard to give up a good, well-paid job.
Yeah.
And like having a mortgage to pay and everything else. You know, it's kind of a gamble, but they gave me a bit of security. You know.
That's unbelievable. That. And are they based out of? Well, they used to be. Well, they're based out of Marbella originally, aren't they? Like, and then, but
they're boy now. They're in the boy. Yeah.
They're expanding every place, aren't they?
Yeah. Talk of America now. They're flying. It's really grown. Like, and they're looking after fighters amazingly well. Like, you wouldn't. With boxing, it's kind of. It's a crooked business, isn't it?
Of course it is. Like, yeah.
I mean, steeped in that. Like, it's.
And it's a lot of it too. Is if you can get exposure to get to the front, like.
Yeah.
Isn't
so
it?
They're kind of. They're backing Irish fighters. Like, it's amazing what they're doing with Irish fighters.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, like Stephen Armless, chance after chance with them. Like, he would invest money in, say, a fighter that lost a couple of times. You get me? An Irish fighter, say, and then reinvest. Then he's going to go for another huge fight. So they're just getting chance after chance. it's unheard of.
That's it, because typically people, they just look at paper, don't they?
Yeah.
Just go, numbers don't stack up for us, move on.
Business support, it's all business. We're there investing money in fighters and helping fighters. Like before we be getting say short notice, going over to the UK, taking a fight at short notice in the UK.
What's that, like a fortnight or a week or?
Well, yeah, you could get a call after 3 or 4 weeks notice. Whereas now, all of a sudden, we're the A side, we're the home fighters. So we're getting the fighters that we want, that suits their styles on the shows at home. Do you get me? Whereas before we're getting picked, given short notice and brought in nearly to Lewis.
Yeah, of course,
Because there's obviously, like, if you're the home fighter, there's a bit of a sway with the judges as well.
Yeah.
Without even being too corrupt and saying, look, this is who we want to win. But they obviously swayed by that as well, you know. So
yeah, because you got a room full.
It's all positive. Like we're going and they're mentioning opponents. They're saying, does he sue? And all of a sudden, like you're looking at styles with your coach. And you're getting the right guys in because they're investing the money in us. Do you get me?
So this is a proper high level outlook from all the levels.
Yeah,
so
it's all business. It all comes back to business. It means like the sport of boxing is as much a business as it is how good you are. Like, and without taking them steps up with the right opponents. Like it's the difference between making it and not making it. It's not like a sport you're the best in, but it's like it's crazy how you can be moved along, fight for a world title, and you're like you're not even like top 10 in the world. Like,
it's the weirdest business I've ever seen. Like, but it's up. Do you know what it's kind of like in a way? It's kind of like the arts world, in that like if you have the right promotion behind you, you can
not different to your own business.
It's fast. You can be fast tracked to the top. When a lot of the time you'll see it, people aren't fucking ready. Like, and you'll see veterans who are just ripping up trees every weekend in every club. Like, not getting a chance. But
it's luck as well, isn't it?
It is luck and it's craftiness. And I mean, I suppose with our game, I suppose it's probably the acting game and it's the stand-up game and stuff like that. But a lot of it is what's hot at the moment. So what's needed. So they go, well, society needs. We're down on fucking gay lads. And this is reality.
Jesus.
I'm telling you, this is what PR people are looking at. Do you know what I mean? If that's needed, like, or they say, look, the cards are stacked too much. We've too many.
We need a black lad in there.
You think I'm joking? And it's all stems back from America. This is the way they do it in America. Like, who was I was talking to recently? It was Carl Spain. He was over gigging, and he talks. This started like 10, 12 years ago. The way they looked at this, and he was gigging in Florida, and they were to go forward for some competition. I think himself and another guy or whatever, and they were just queuing up to register their name for this stand-up competition they were flown over for. And it was like, okay, and I can't remember what comedian was with him. He was of Indian descent. He was an English guy, like Paul Chowdhury or somebody like that. And she went, oh. We already have the Indian guy. He goes, but I'm not Indian. I'm from England. But they were going, yeah, but you're brown. And we got one of those. Yeah, and that's nothing to do with it, but not like being funny. Ability was like third on the list. Do you know what I mean? It was, have you got something we can sell?
Unless you're really fantastic.
You like it's. Yeah, I mean, but there still has to be space for you. Do you know what I mean? It still has to be space for you at the top echelons, like, you know what I mean? And if there isn't space, if somebody's given up, they're like, oh right, we need the crazy one put in there who has the goofy haircut. Do you know, like, and things like that, you know? Like, but
that structured, like?
It's that structured, and you wouldn't think it is. Like, you think it's just...
Yeah, the cream rises to the top.
No,
I was looking everything go,
I mean, the cream does, but you gotta be patient, because, you know what I mean? You'd see people ripping by you, and like, you go, what the fuck just happened there? But then, I used to be like that, but then you kind of look at it, when you know the system, you go, oh, I get it.
Yeah.
I don't have that.
It's not negatives about it.
I can't. I don't have that.
You get bitter.
You know, you don't get bitter, you never do it.
Going this time,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But who is that Matthew Macklin?
Yeah.
It's
that being sold the business now.
Yeah. But you can tell it's been sold.
Yeah.
Because it's up another level.
Yeah.
It just looks so pro the way they're doing everything from getting in investors, getting in.
Even they say Mick Collins' homecoming is in June. What they're doing now as well is because they've signed so many fighters, they're able to. It's easy when you're in the same management company. It's easy to match the fighters. So say in June 30th now you have Declan Geraghty and John O'Carroll fight.
Right.
Brilliant fight.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to see that. Like I'd be going up to watch that more so than the
just a spectator.
Yeah,
right.
Amazing fight. And then you have Phil Sutcliffe and Tyrone McKenna, which is another both MTK fighters. So the beauty of having so many fighters is you match that kind of quality. Same as my fight. Conrad Cummins and he was MTK.
Is he?
Yeah, so they're just ringing us up. Do you want to fight? Whereas with two rival, obviously management companies, they won't actually match their fighters, or they won't work with. Do you get me?
Wow. Yeah, I never. Because that's what. Yeah, I get you now. Yeah.
Like whatever, one promoter won't work with another promoter. One, you know what I mean?
There's always going to be friction.
MTK have the beauty of working with all different promoters as well. So they have their fighters fighting with say Eddie Hearn and Matchroom, and you also have fighters with Frank Warren BT, which is kind of unheard of as well. You know, so you have options.
That is
America then as well. Like, it's amazing.
How are your eyes?
Not bad, yeah.
They look good.
That one got a slight infection, so it's not healed as well. But a couple of weeks, 4 or 5 weeks, would be alright. I was cut before and he never reopened, so it healed well. It was just clash of heads both times.
Because he said it was a punch, didn't he? But
the first one, the ref came in, and that's what was a bit of iffy in the corner. It was caused by a punch. Different say associations have different rules, like so. It could have went to a non-decision, like because it was caused by a punch. And people were kind of talking back saying, they could have stopped the fight and it would have went to scores and it would have won easy. But at the same time, if that had happened, people could have said, look, Conrad would have come on strong in the second half of the fight. I wouldn't have got the credit that I had, you know what I mean? He said, look at this, whatever, like he would have come on strong. The win wouldn't have been as good if it didn't last, you know?
I get you, yeah.
So I was delighted that it went on, you know?
There's a picture I put up, I totally ripped it off your Instagram, but it's a good one to put up, and it's of you, and you can stick your fucking finger into those cuts, How did he stop it in 5 seconds, What's he feeling?
That was the thought. They just wipe it clean and they use adrenaline, so you get a bottle of adrenaline before you go into the corner. The cut man Niall Bourne done a great job. Like, he got great feedback and praise for it, rightly so as well. You know, like he was good.
Those were some cuts.
And the beauty, like you have a cut man in your corner. So the beauty of having a cut man in the corner. Sometimes the coaches do the cuts. Like the cut man can just go into work, and then you have
the coach still giving his coaching.
It's instructions. So it's important to have that, because all little 1%'s in it.
Oh,
man. Struggling, dropping the adrenaline, or just and trying to give instructions.
But it's not like you have 10 minutes in the corner. You got 30 seconds pretty much in the corner to work
it. You get back. So it's kind of, and it's peace of mind as well. Going forward, say this does reopen, you know you have a guy in the corner.
Yeah. When did you start boxing?
When I was 8.
8?
Yeah.
Jesus. Did you ever play any other sports, or was it just
boxing? It was bad. It was bad at everything else.
Well, yeah. Just hitting people.
I played football. The brother was very good at football. He done a small bit of boxing. No, I wasn't great at anything else. You know.
And which gym did you start with? Where are you from?
From Ballyfermot. I started in St Matthew's Boxing Club, so I actually popped down and seen the old coach. He's 87. I don't know what he's seen, but I dropped down.
Oh, I did. You put it up on Instagram, yeah.
Shadow boxing. He's solid still.
He still looks it.
Yeah,
He's square jawed him still, like.
Solid back. He's telling him to hit me in the stomach.
Jesus.
Hit me in the stomach, and I was like that. He's like, hit me hard. Hit me hard. And he's solid, like still does 500 sit-ups a day.
Ah, stop.
Yeah. He showed me the little gym. He moved from Ballyfermot to Trim. And I kept meaning and going down to see him.
Yeah.
In that kind of way, and I was just caught up. You get caught up in stuff, don't you? But he's I said, geez, I better go down. He's 87, like.
Yeah, you never know. Yeah.
But he's got to go another few years.
Yeah, he sounds like he's made of iron, like.
Yeah. But
some of them old boxers, man, you still know they could land a punch, like.
Oh, yeah, you see videos. The last thing you do is.
Yeah.
You know, we'll have that in me there.
Yeah, you're back in the side.
Cool. Yeah.
You're back in the side.
That was good.
And the change, because when I met you, we met in Pascal's gym, Celtic Warrior.
Yeah.
And was that, was there enough on Pascal times you went, no, I need to sharpen this up a small bit? Because
yeah, well, I kind of, I changed management company, and then the change of the management company, I went to Keeler as well. Like he's kind of working with a couple of guys. And
that's Katie's father, isn't it?
Katie's father, and I can't thank him enough. Like,
yeah,
you know, some man, like so passionate. Yeah, like I didn't give him the credit. Like without training him, a lot of people just presumed like Katie's this one-off freak athlete.
Yeah.
Like, but there's a lot behind it. You know, the father gave up his job, kind of dedicating himself to work.
That's unbelievable.
Business.
Yeah.
He's an electrician, and the work he's doing with us, he's doing 2 sessions a day with us, and it's nearly like he has a point to prove, kind of, in a way, you know, that kind of way.
You
know, so it's amazing the work he's doing with us, and I know he just fell in there, and I'm very, very fortunate to, you know.
Yeah. So what's your typical, when did you go back? Is it today's your first day back?
Today's before, 4 o'clock today I'll go back. So we'll start off 1 session a day. My next fight I'm hoping to get on is Frampton's undercard in Windsor Park, August 18th. So there's a football stadium up there. So I'm going to get me a big fight on that, talking about opponents. So there's a plan in place now, like, so August, big fight, another ranked fight up the ladder.
You want to get somebody in the top 10
now, yeah, so they get someone, they're mentioning names, working on that. Then probably December, another ranking guy. And then I'm not far off at the world title fight then, you know.
Beautiful. And where you just picked up the WBO.
European, so I'd be probably 9. The rankings haven't been released yet.
Yeah, but you'll be in the top 10 yourself.
The beat was 9, and I beat him well, kind of. So I could. The rankings is funny.
They're weird, aren't they?
Like technically, it's crazy. Like I see in rankings, just to give you a story. They say all of a sudden, like the champion wants to fight this guy, and he's ranked say 30 in the WBO.
Yeah.
And he loses a fight, and all of a sudden he goes up the rankings. That's how crooked
boxing
is. Yeah.
What?
They just sued the rankings. Just say you have to be in the top 10 to defend against them. So there's cases of that. Say some boxing writers would have done it. They'd be like searching through, and they'd see like he was ranked 30, and then all of a sudden, because he needed to be top 15, they just push him up the rankings.
Stop. Yeah, and this is writers can do this, like.
You just looking back through, and they can see the rankings 1 month, and then the rankings change all of a sudden, and he didn't even have a fight. He could have lost a fight.
That's unreal.
Yeah, that's how corrupt it is.
Yeah. That's what can you do, like? But it does. I think boxing's kind of having a bit of a resurgence, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it seems to be.
Yeah. Like publicity-wise, anyway. And this is somebody from the outside. I mean, you've been stuck in it forever, like. But I mean, somebody from the outside, it seems to be getting a bit of a resurgence, like, which is great.
Is flying, and then because of that, say, rivalry with Warren, like, and they're signing with BT. A lot of people have BT now with the Premiership.
Of course, and BT is.
That's huge. He's at getting Tyson, Frampton. Like they be doing their own pay-per-view events, so it's always healthy to have that kind of rivalry, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, of course it is, like, because it drives it on. Then, like, you know, who was your man that became a woman? Was that Frank?
He was
another
Frank.
Frank.
Yeah,
Frank
Malone. I think he might be back there managing. Yeah, Darren Sutherland was with him, wasn't he?
He was. That's it.
Yeah.
But it's like, what's the crack? Like, is he rocking into the gym, like? All right, lads.
I don't think he's involved that much now, to be honest.
Yeah, it'd be tough enough business to stay in.
Like. Yeah. Fuck's sake.
I was going to ask you what's the maddest bastard you ever met in boxing, but hey, there we go, like.
Yeah,
Who's like? Yeah, have you come across? Because do you know an interesting character I met was Ray Moylett. He was an interesting. He seems like a bit of a mad bastard, like.
Yeah, this Westport, isn't it?
Yeah, but that. As soon as he told me where he was from, I went, yeah, that makes sense. He's from wild out west, like. Yeah.
So he's doing great, isn't he, Ray?
Yeah.
He's building nicely in America. They've good support, and he's also signed to Assassins Boxing. They're actually running shows back here.
Are they?
The Last Man Standing. Did you see that? Did you? Roy
Yes. Yeah.
There's a bit of publicity about that at the moment. Roy still hasn't been paid for winning that. Did you see that?
No.
So he won the Last Man Standing and he hasn't been paid. This is good material for you.
This is great stuff. This is great stuff. We're getting exclusives here, like, yeah.
You know, it was all over social media, but the two promoters are kind of arguing among themselves.
Who owes him, like, a what?
Yeah, so I don't know the details. You can't comment who's at fault, you know, but
yes.
Imagine winning that, taking 5 or 6 weeks off work and not getting paid.
Yeah.
That's boxing, isn't it?
That's boxing. That's Jesus Christ. Like, I mean, you're, like, I suppose these days, as you said, you've gone with MTK now, and you're probably being spoiled a bit, like, in that it's so nice, like, you know what I mean?
I like some of the, say the two guys in the gym, they be, like, I went through it for 4 years, the other side of things, seen it kind of.
Yeah.
They signed directly with MTK, and not that they have any complaints or anything, but like they're spoiled, as you said.
Yeah,
you don't realise, like, you know.
Like, you've seen the mad shit.
Yeah,
like.
I'm seeing, like, I was breaking me bollocks selling tickets.
Yeah.
To say, like, the way boxing works in Ireland, you have to sell tickets or you don't fight. Do you get me? Like, so no matter who you are, so you basically you get an allocation of tickets, and you have to cover your opponent coming in, and then you cover, say, money towards the show, and then you get paid yourself, like, if you sell enough tickets. That's how boxing works.
Oh man.
Unless you sell 100 tickets, like the promoters that are signing up fellas today, they're probably asking the guys, can you sell 100 tickets, like, as much as ability, like.
Yeah.
Because it's just all a business
for
them.
them.
And you can't blame them, because in fairness, there's high fees to run a show. I remember looking at the figures, like the pay boxing union of oil, insurance, thing. It doesn't add up. The figures don't add up for running shows. So these are just normal guys trying to run a show, and they're getting slated then. Oh, these are robbing me, you know. But you can I can understand.
Yeah.
I can understand, but like, you just have, it's a thankless job that they're doing. See, the guys like, say, Boxing Ireland, they're running good shows in Dublin, but like, they're just getting slated. Now, I don't know the ins and outs of ticket deals and making money, but people just presume, you know, you're getting robbed. No matter what you do, even like MTK, you can't do enough for you. People will be saying, like, we get you a world title fight in a million, say, right?
Yeah.
Like, fighters are turning around, I should have got 2 million for that.
Yeah, of course.
You're a thankless job. Yeah. Something we'd never do.
Yeah. Oh,
you do a bit coaching, and you'd have the love for you for coaching, but as soon as there's money involved,
it's
just fucking, people don't like, not that they're not educated, but it's a thankless job, isn't it?
After me, went, like, that night I saw you in the stadium. It was something to behold for a social study, like, just sitting in the audience, like. And I must have found the only two fucking normal blokes I happened to be sitting beside them. The lads lived up the road, and they went, no, we'll pop in here the whole time when there's fights on, because, you know, and we'll head into town for a couple of pints after. It was a great way to start the night, because look, you're getting to see fights and all the rest of it, but just look around. And it was fucking unbelievable. Like, there was lads, every second fella thought he was Nidge. Do you know what I mean? They're on.
That's the boxing.
Dude, they're on the phone and they're giving the strut, and you know they're talking to fucking nobody or nothing. You can see the young ones are up there, their arses hanging out, and the tits out everywhere, and they're walking around here. And then
you probably have Wi-Fi,
yeah. Then you see. Well, to be fair, I'm generalising. This is the people that were kind of around me. Then in front of me there was about 20 travellers. And fuck me, every one of them was the greatest expert on fighting.
Yeah.
And they were not seeing what was happening at all.
Yeah.
You know, one fella, he this greasy kind of curly, like 1980s Jerry curl kind of hair, and he was turning around to me the whole time. Never met the man in my life. He was going, "Do you see that, Jim? Do you see that? No, what he's doing there? No." And they're going, "Oh, just shut the fuck up."
Just making noise.
Just making noise. And then what I noticed was nobody could sit still when it wasn't the fight that they went to see.
Do you know interest?
They couldn't sit still. They were up, they were fucking down, they were back, they were forward. It was like you need a big fucking school teacher with a stick going around. Shut up to fuck, there's fights on.
You wouldn't want to be doing security at the moment.
Oh man. I just wouldn't do it because there's no point. But it was funny because I think the Traveller lad was fighting Stevie Collins.
Yeah. Huge win for them with the name, like that'd be amazing. Travel community.
But about 200 people just stood up and walked out. It's like as soon as that fight was done,
straight to the bar.
Straight to the bar.
Same as the guy who won, probably. Yeah.
Fucking carnage. Yeah. It's like
some win for him. He did a lot of money in the bookies as well, and that he was an underdog, Paddy McDonough.
Was he?
Big money bets I heard.
They love the betting though, don't they?
Yeah, the big money bets on McDonough. I remember actually, I was in Celtic Warriors at the time, and all of a sudden, like we were training in Celtic Warriors, there's an influx of travelling lads.
Was that?
Yeah, for the fight. They're asking, what do you think? Will Stevie do it?
Trying to get the insight, yeah,
there was some of that going on, and then they're feeding information back. So I'd say the bookies were hit for it. You know?
Yeah.
Stevie in that fight, for instance, Stevie, he lost an awful lot of weight to make that light heavyweight limit. So he boxed at cruiserweight, Stevie Collins, and he's like the father, come forward, takes a brilliant shot, and busy kind of fire, and like I sparred against him. I was backing Stevie to win, but sometimes he didn't make the weight right. He lost too much. Like it happened to me in that Dordan fight.
Do you lose power?
You lose, yeah. It's a science making weight, so there's a science to it. Like if you don't make it correctly, you don't recover in time for the fight. So you're losing a lot of weight. So he probably had to lose, say, the week of the fight, probably 14, 15 pounds.
Jesus Christ, a stone.
Yeah. So you do it in kind of war. It's called water loading. So the MMA guys kind of brought it in. So you trick the body. The week of the fight. So you drink, say, 6-7 litres of water a day, say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So it's basically the reason you do that is the body thinks it's getting water in, so it release the water. Do you get me? When it comes to dehydration and hot baths. So it's like the brain actually thinks it's getting this water in. So that's the trick with the water load. So I wouldn't use it to an extreme. I'd probably lose 4 or 5 pounds of it. But I'd get in, say for my fight for instance, I didn't train the day before, so like there was no point in me training and losing weight the day before, being dehydrated and sleeping. You leave it to the last minute before the weigh-in to lose the weight. Do you get me?
Yeah.
So I could have went to bed and I could have done a sweat session, say the Thursday night the weigh-in. But instead of doing that, I said, okay, I just loosened out, stretched, didn't lose any weight, went to bed, got a scalding hot bath, put Epsom salts in it, it's called, got in the bath, in for 10 minutes, weight just dropping off. Like this is not real weight, it's just fluid.
So it just pulls it out of your pores.
It's
Epsom salts, that's all. That's what it does.
So I done that for 10 minutes, jumped out, stepped on the scales, 2 pounds down.
What? From 10 minutes out of that?
Yeah.
It pulls
scald and you're like red with it. Yeah,
but it pulled 2 pounds out of it.
Yeah, so back in for another 10 minutes.
Oh my god.
So I lost the 4 pounds that morning. But I was still fresh, like it's just tricking the body kind of. The body thinks it's getting really low. If the old way of doing it, say when we were in the amateurs making weight, you'd be losing weight the whole week. You're wearing sweat bags the whole week. You're going in Monday losing weight, Tuesday losing water, like, and you're dehydrated and you don't recover as quick. Then the beauty of the pro game is it's the day before weighing, so you've 36 hours to get the weight straight back in. So you have these drinks made up basically. So
electrolytes and that kind of stuff.
Electrolytes, the autolytes, and salts to absorb the water. Like I'd stand on the scales, and within a few hours I'm up 10 pounds. Like.
Jeez.
Yeah, so each litre is 2 pounds. So I'm taking in, like every hour I take in a litre.
Yeah.
With all these salts and diaryloids and sugars in it. And you can actually, if you step on the scales and take a photograph, and then a few hours later, your size grows kind of, you know.
Of course you swell out, you puff out,
But it's only fluid that you're losing.
Yeah.
But some guys, even MMA guys do it, and you see them step on the scales, they're dead on the weight, they're nearly getting lifted onto it. Like there's gonna be health impacts to that extreme.
Your liver,
like 4 or 5 pounds.
Did
you see the likes of McGregor when he was making 145?
He was hideous. He looked like a scarecrow.
Yeah. He was dropping, say, 8, like I think I'd seen in a documentary, he was like 9 kilos the week before he dropped.
What?
Yeah. And they get hooked up to IVs then, so they get rehydrated quicker. They were banned. It's crazy stuff. So they're gonna see, like there was a couple of deaths over it.
There was, yeah, I heard that. But they're gonna have to create more belts, like really more divisions, aren't they? Like,
yeah, or even say IBF brought in a thing where they brought in a £10 limit the next morning, so you can't be more than any £10. But the way in the £10 and putting it at £5 or £6 on, it's kind of, I don't know how they'll do it, but they'll have to monitor it. Now, in fairness, we had a check weight on, so you have to be within 2% of your weight, or 3% I think it was, say 3 days before the fight. So there's little things getting brought in.
So you can't rush it down.
You can't go too high because 3 days before. Like there's little things like safety measures like that they have to do. You know.
It's fucking mad that they actually have to do that. Like you know what I mean? I suppose fellas will just fight for what they'll do whatever they can.
Every little edge. So all of a sudden, just say guys that aren't doing that water load and blowing up like me, say I'm putting on 14, 15 pounds, but every fighter's putting on 14.
Yeah.
But just say we have a fighter in the gym, Davey Oliver. Joyce was in the Olympics.
Oh yeah.
He's boxing at lightweight now, and he's making it so easy. Like he's walking around. He's used to say being in the amateur circle, where he's like you have to weigh in every day and fight. So he doesn't want to be too much over the weight.
Of course, yeah.
With the pros, you have 36 hours to recover.
Yeah.
You get me? Whereas say he's going to the Olympics, he's weighing in that morning and fighting, so you can't lose that much water.
So he's just got that kind of
He's just that in his mindset, but he was recently say he was over sparring with John O'Carroll, who's the same weight, and John O'Carroll is walking around at say 4 or 5 kilos heavier than him because he's doing the water load. So he's naturally bigger. So Davey Oliver now like recognises that and he's going down in weight division. But so easy he's doing it. Like see what I'm talking about. I'm losing £5 a morning on a fight.
Yeah.
Like that's a weight division.
Of course it is, yeah.
But if he's waking up in the morning and he's on the weight, he doesn't have to do that.
So he may as well go back down.
He's not going up as much as me in terms of
weight. Of course, yeah.
So he's only gaining say 3 or 4 pounds.
Well, you're gaining 14.
I'm gaining 14. But the boy that he's fighting, everyone's doing it.
So he may as well go back down.
He has to go down. So he's kind of learning that, and sometimes you have a mindset where you think, oh Jesus, I couldn't lose another 2 kilos. But it's only fluids, isn't it? Like,
yeah. And so if you can do it,
he'll drop down and he'll be bigger and stronger at the weight, you know.
Because that was the thing. I was like, McGregor was fucking cutting everybody. You're going to 145, making yourself a rack, but you're walking back into the fucking cage at 170 nearly. Like. Do you know? Like it was a bizarre thing. Like it's like how can that be allowed?
Extreme,
like, it's too extreme, but it's too extreme then because he's fighting fellas who are probably meant to be in that division. Like. Do you know who probably
doing that as extreme? Yeah,
they come back
different sizes.
They come back in. They're 155 or something fighting like.
Yeah, he's 15 pounds.
Yeah, you know. So
you have to regulate it more. They need the only way of doing it, I suppose, is doing a weigh in closer to the fight, and you can only rehydrate so much. Do you know what I mean? Then fighters won't go to them extremes, or they'd have to just move up in weight category.
Had you ever any notions of the MMA world yourself when it started to become so popular? Like.
It's another sport again.
It is, I suppose, yeah. It's apples and oranges.
On boxing, yeah, like it's you see the success of it. Say, Jesus, have a go at that kind of. But no, like it's you have to learn. They learn. It's like 4 or 5 different sports. Don't have to affect that. Years of that. Jesus, I'm only getting the time to get into boxing.
And what did you make of the time McGregor fought Mayweather? Like. Because I like the argument was that it was good for boxing to actually expose boxing again because
it was a huge event and he got 100 million. Like you can't criticise it. Like it's amazing. And then a guy from Crumlin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
From Crumlin Boxing Club. He was there at the beginning, but anyone in the boxing world knew he was kind of losing.
Yeah, of course. How are you going to fight a man who's
the guy? Like in fairness, like Mayweather was 40. He's like probably a couple of weight divisions below. Say on the night because he was only a welterweight Mayweather.
Yeah.
And then his hands were bad as well. So I just presumed Conor would gas. You know, not used to doing them rounds. So
of course.
When we're pros, like we go 4 rounds, 6 rounds. You do a few 6 rounders. You ease up to an 8 rounder. Say 2 or 3 8 rounders. He went in from say 3 round MMA fights to a 12 round fight.
Bananas.
So it's not physically possible. So when you had a big bet that he'd get like a stoppage, a stoppage, and I told everyone to put a bet on it. So it's not physically possible for someone to go in. He was gassing in MMA fights. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's not like he's this freak athlete that has this amazing engine. Like some of them come along, like you see Stephen Arm, he's a freak engine. Like so some guys that just have these freak engines. Like the way I looked at it was McGregor kind of got tired in some of his fights. I don't know whether it's from making weight or whatever. Like he just didn't have this freak engine. So how was he going to do?
Well, he was going for he was just going for a knockout.
12 rounds. Without conditioning your body to that. Like,
how long would that take? Do you think? Would it take him 2 years?
Could take a year, 2 years to do it right. Like, but he went in. He gave a good account himself in them rounds, didn't he? Like he landed well. Even though Mayweather was getting on at 40, he was still like he's still untouchable. Like, you know,
I personally watching it, I was going, McGregor or Mayweather is making a show of this. Because McGregor or Mayweather doesn't want to knock him out in the first round.
No, he wants the public even more. Well, not even that he could have. Like people said, he could have knocked him out any time. Mayweather's not a big puncher. His hands are bad. Like as much as he doesn't have that like I'll knock you out punch.
You suppose he doesn't? No,
he could have jumped on him and landed and put sustained pressure and probably got the stoppage quicker. But probably like say 3 or 4 rounds quicker. But as you said, it's like they're getting 100 million for it and people are paying to see it. Why would you make it like 2 or 3 rounds?
Yeah, exactly.
You're like Conor landed some nice shots within them rounds, didn't he? Like, you know, kind of he landed a beautiful uppercut.
He actually did,
He's an uppercut. Like
you'd be happy with it yourself.
Yeah, beautiful ability, like, but it's not physically possible to do 12 rounds.
That conditioning,
From, you know what I mean? It's just not.
Well, as you said, he's burning out even in the MMA world. And for the likes of that, I mean, the argument was that it was good for boxing. I think it was in that
crossover.
Why not get more people looking at boxing? Like
huge event, wasn't it? They're talking about another one, aren't they? I don't think they'll buy it again.
They probably won't, like, but it's good to talk about it.
Yeah, because we're out there.
It gets lines. But see, I even notice now, fellas, like they're talking more about boxing because it's a pure thing. Like, you know what I mean? There's no two ways about it. Like, I mean, because anybody on the fence would go, fuck MMA. It's a mixed bag of everything. Like, I mean, I did MMA and I did martial arts for 18 years, but I would still go, grand, it's a sport, whatever. Like, but for me, I can kind of see it for it's almost, you know, like how hipsters are like. It's almost being a bit hipster about it. Yeah, you can like MMA, but I'm a boxing man myself because it's more pure. And I've noticed people kind of going, MMA, no worries, no, I'm boxing because it's the oldest martial arts in the Western world anyway, like in white people's world, like, you know.
Whether they enjoy it or not, they're just kind of putting that slant on it.
Do you know what? I would urge anybody to go to a night like when I went to see you fight that night.
You're taking the whole event, dude.
I was loving it.
People watching.
I was loving it because like I obviously know I knew Stevie, I knew Ray, and I knew Stevie Norman wasn't fighting that night. No, and I knew you. And that was all I knew. Yeah. So, but I was watching the other fights, but it was as well as that. I was watching
the event,
I was loving the whole event. I was going, me coming from my world and seeing how they do, say something like the Ivy Gardens, you know, how they do promotions on a major scale. It was like, fuck, with a few tweaks, you could make this very interesting.
Well, that's it.
A few tweaks, and obviously you're talking about MTK have spotted this.
Yeah, they're doing amazing things. But there's a guy coming in new into the market, guy Jay Bourne, and he did a press conference recently for a show. He's working with Assassin Boxing.
Right.
He ran the last one, and he ran that press conference very professionally. And as you said, like a few tweaks and hours. Like there was another guy, Craig McCarthy, his promoter ran a show down in Waterford, and like it's just about someone putting the hours and the effort and the grafting behind it, you know.
Because the fine line between like amateur hour and looking shit hot, isn't it? Like it's
even say in the UK, MTK run shows. There's a guy that runs the MTK shows in London.
Yeah. And
he runs them amazing. Say their events. Like it's as much about the promotion and the background scenes, you know.
Well, that's it. I think what they like that night for the minimalist that I would be in the way of being known. It was now Pascal had come along to it, but did they call themselves Red Corner?
Yeah, Red Corner. Yeah.
Red Corner have hit me up a few times since. Would you like to come to this one? Because I met somebody there from Red Corner that night, but what had happened was a few of the Ninja lads had copped me from Game 1 Iowa. And then before you, a fucking queue had formed for photographs. And the two lads that were sitting beside me hadn't a clue who I was. They were laughing their bodies off going, who do they think he is? But it was from that point of view, and I said, you need to be getting, whatever about me.
Yeah.
You need to get people, look, you need to get people with big Instagram accounts. I don't.
Yeah.
But Instagram's where it's at.
And put it out there.
Put it out there. Like you take like two lads that I had on the podcast here, they're called the Two Johnnies, right? They're two lads. Now they're starting to get serious now because they're making good money from it, but they were messing about one of the lads, I think he was a butcher, the other lad makes hurleys for a living, but they were both kind of musicians. They came together and they were mad for GA, and they were just doing funny Snapchat fucking stuff and short clips, like sketches, and then they wrote a couple of songs. Fucking Snapchat just fucking swarmed them, loved them. Now they get paid to go to every GA match in the football and hurling throughout the entire country.
Because they're advertising.
And the lads, they hang around, they're contracted to hang around for like an hour and a half afterwards, they're signing more fucking jerseys than the players. They're Snapchatting the whole way through the game, going, jeez, some point.
This is building the crowds. And bringing value in.
And people, they bring value to it.
Definitely, yeah. Look, that's obviously lads mentioned that. Even the likes of say John Connors, he's a huge following.
Yeah.
He was up, like MPK recognised that. He's up ringside at the fights. I was actually supposed to see him for a point. He was messaging me. He was a good fighter actually, John Connors.
Was he?
Yeah. He boxed. He won an Irish fight.
Yeah, and that film Cardboard Gangsters, he puts together a combo there on that wall. It looks like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he can throw a punch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice guy, John. But like the likes of them fellas at the events, as you said, you bring value to it, and you bring a crowd.
Because there's nothing like legitimacy to a thing, like, you know what I mean? Like when there's all of a sudden like that's who I think would be a very fast and for the one cheap way, because a couple of quid you get somebody in who really enjoys boxing. Fuck it just legitimizes it. Like I was there. I went to. I don't know, did you ever meet Richard Kiley? He's an MMA fighter.
Yeah.
And Richard was on the podcast as well. He said, you know, I'll come to the next fight, the Bama event.
Yeah,
he says, he's
big events, isn't he?
Big events in the 3 Arena, you know, because I had, now in fairness to him, he got me amazing seats. He sat me right, and I couldn't stay there. I couldn't stay there for longer than 20 minutes because the level of dick that was around me, like, it was just because there was too much confidence to get me. Like everybody was struck. Now we all know why they had that
ego.
Oh well, we know why they had that ego. It wasn't just they were bringing a friend to the party called Charles, like. But just like when it was women and men, it was like, and nobody, like they were fucking Snapchatting while fights were going on with the guy. I'm going, can you just fucking now this probably me being a hipster about it, like going, just turn around and actually watch the
There's
fucking
actually
fight.
ego involved in you passing talking about that.
You know,
not enjoying it.
Yeah, what the fuck are you doing, like? And I met two mates who were about 5 rows back, you know, and they had a seat beside me, so I went up and sat with them, like. But it was again, now they like while it's in the 3 Arena and everything, it wasn't packed to their rafters, and it could have been like had they gone about. Now, I recognised 1 or 2 people that were there, but they weren't very current in a lot of ways. Like, and even at that, like, I remember one fella, he was from California, I think he was. He was shiny, like, you know what I mean? He was just fucking glisteningly shiny, you know, he was just ridiculous tan, his eyebrows were done and stuff. And he must have walked in with like 6 women, all with bits of their body hanging out somewhere, like, and you're going, dude, you look like a fucking douchebag, what are you doing, like? And he got ticked, because where I was sitting, and lads on the other row beside me copped me again.
Yeah,
and
he didn't like that.
And fucking pulling. These lads queued up for a photograph. You could see him kind of just, and he's all full of muscles and stuff. It's like, dude, relax, will you? Relax.
Carminator, was it?
I think that was him. And it was, I'm sure he wasn't. He was probably going, who the fuck's your man, like, you know what I mean? To see their dealer or something, like, oh, what's the story, like. But in that instance, I was kind of going, like, Richard had the right idea too. He was going, no, it'd be good to have you. You know, and I wanted to see it too, because I'm good friends with Will Fleury, a fellow who trains out of SPG as well. And Will's a gas passenger. He won't go. He can't get in for any of that kind of stuff. Like, you know what I mean. But it needs to be done to bring it. Especially, I think boxing needs it because
it's all social media, isn't it?
It's all social media. Like.
It's huge, isn't it?
Like I see now. I mean, like Spike is a big follower himself. Huge follow.
He's getting fights off the back of that as well. You know.
He knows that.
It's black and white for sponsors as well. Even like they just look at your account.
That's all.
Watch your interactions. How many like it's that black and white, you know, like. You have to be more active. Something I don't do. Like, I'm not active enough.
Well, he pays somebody to look after his watch. Now I think he does his Instagram himself and his Twitter, but as far as Facebook, he leaves that to a professional.
Yeah, you need to, yeah.
And they're posting something relevant every day. Every day there's something. It's content. They're just putting up something. They're searching the internet for interviews, articles, and just putting it up every day. Yeah. And all of a sudden, there's 120 likes under, and it's keeping relevant. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's what I was saying at the beginning of this. Like, you don't know. I mean, yourself and Spike are extremely good boxers, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that. You know, as we said, like people, if you've got a good profile, people will buy your tickets. You said it yourself that lads
like with
have
boxing,
to sell tickets.
Yeah, you have to sell tickets, but with boxing, if you have a huge following, so people like if huge following that are paying for tickets. The promoter will protect you and kind of get the fights in. You're the cash cow.
Yeah.
You know that kind of way. Like that's why Canelo was held back for so long, say before the Golovkin fight.
Yeah.
They're just feeding them. Nobody's selling out stadiums, so why would you risk it? You know that kind of way.
Of course, yeah.
But he's at taking the step up, obviously. But it's as much a business. It's interesting, isn't it? Like the boxing world.
Yeah, if you could know the intricacies of it, but I mean, if you could, they need to quickly set their sights, which would, like I said, in the lights that red corner stuff like that.
I'm not sure if they've finished or not. Boxing Ireland are doing a good thing, but they need to be more proactive, as you said, like getting even paying, like as much as it probably kills people to pay someone, you know that kind of way. But it pays off, doesn't it? Yeah.
In the long run.
They're the long run kind of. They're at building say 5 or 6 shows. They need to be investing in what you said. Like, because they're half empty stadiums. They're not filling the stadium. You know that kind of way. It's just
it is tough to set aside that, because if the accountant looks at it and goes, "What's a fucking €1,000 for fucking Johnny? Fucking what's that about?" Yeah. I go, well, he put 100. See, there's 100 seats in that row there. He sold those fucking tickets. And it is on black and white. You gotta put. That's all. I think that's because it's a shame that people don't like that night. And like that these two lads that live next door that I was sitting beside, they had a great idea. Tickets are cheap, so you're getting to see an enjoyable bit of crack. The night is over early enough that you can tip on down.
People don't know that it's even there. Like
they don't know. They think it's a fucking bingo hall beside it.
You don't. There's no money spent say in newspapers. Not that even people buy newspapers now. It's hard to actually get out there, isn't it? Kind of without TV.
The only way is social media.
Yeah, social media.
And you need the influencers telling people like.
Yeah,
that's what you need.
I suppose you have to pay them then, don't you?
You gotta pay them. You gotta pay them, but that's cheaper than any newspaper because
it's getting more of a.
I'm telling you, I saw this thing a couple of.
Who would you recommend now for the shows? This is for Boxing Ireland or that. Like, who would you get?
Who's got it? Like, I mean, you get somebody like the man Rory Stories. I know he's primarily GEA.
Yeah.
But why not stick him on one night, see how it goes?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just kind of test the waters, isn't it?
Stuff like that. But you look around, like, I mean, you take somebody like a friend of mine, Leanne Moore, right? Huge following. And she owns a gym. She's from Limerick, but she's her boyfriend had been in California, but he totally kind of go, oh, fuck that. Like, he's not like that at all. Like, but they own a gym in Limerick. But like, Leanne could sell a ticket anywhere for anything. People love her.
Yeah.
And she's old, like she's walking around with an 8-pack, you know what I mean? Like, and same as himself, but they're lovely, they're normal people. They're not.
So for them to advertise on social media, it's such and such events coming up, or raffling tickets, or
Well, I mean, they would like could be a test of water if there's a fight in Limerick. They would be the people to do it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
so you just look at the demographic. You do some research and get them in.
Just look at the hashtag. Boxing Ireland. And just go, well, who's liking a lot of this shit? Like, do you know what I mean? And find out, like.
And the people do it in goodwill as well, as much as.
A lot of the time they do.
Look, there's 2 ringside seats here. Can you come along?
Well, I was more than happy to come along that night because it was like, this is great. This is a good way to spend a Saturday evening, you know. And I'd gig.
And bringing value.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And I'd be fucking nobody, like, relative to. Definitely, I don't follow the influencer side of, you know what I mean. I don't fucking Instagram like crazy, like, so I don't. And plus, I don't really have a narrative. Do you know, like, I don't have a set fitness narrative. Comedy is fine. People go, it's funny, but if people really believe in your shit, like they do when it comes to, say, like Leanne, she puts up inspirational shit. You know what I mean? I'm not going to inspire anybody. You know what I mean? Do you know, like, it's just an example. Like, that would be something fast way.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not joking with you. Like,
explode. Yeah, that's the way it's gone. That's the way the world's gone. Isn't it? Kind of.
I went to do a gig down in Cork. I remember it was September last year, and it was part of the comedy festival down there. And I was headlining the show, and I walked in, and it wasn't a fucking poster. It was not. I'm not. Are you fucking joking me, lad? Are you joking me, lads? And it was opening night of the Oak, and I went, no, we're sold out. How the fuck did you do that? Snapchat.
Yeah.
And
we're all on Snapchat.
I'm not on
big, is it?
I
because Instagram is Snapchat, so I just went off it.
It's just the same thing. It's the same thing for me. It's the same thing. It's one or the other, but totally two different breeds of people follow you.
It's still going, really. Yeah.
Oh, it's still going. And two different breeds now. Since they changed the algorithm to it, or something, they changed something to do with it. They're only getting about a third of the viewers. I don't know what happened, but Instagram will probably end up blowing it out of the water, buying it up, or something will happen. But you get two different breeds of people coming to it. Instagram, it's all ages. Snapchat, it's probably from the age of 12 to 24. And that night in Cork, it was all people There was a handful of people who just bought tickets because they knew about it, but there was mostly people that were of the age of 21 to 24.
All on Snapchat.
All on. See, kids don't look up at fucking posters. They don't look up at anything.
Look at the phone.
They're stuck in their phone and they believe everything the phone is telling them. So if something pops up on Snapchat, they just go, well, that must be a thing to go to.
Yeah.
That must be a thing to go to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Amazing, isn't it?
It's unbelievable, like.
It's amazing in a business sense, yeah.
So when you see, you know, things like that. And tell me this, what was it like, how long had you been with Celtic Warriors?
Well, my whole pro career, so 4.5 years I was with Pascal, and he done amazing work with me, like he's an amazing coach, and but I was kind of at a stage, like, wanted to commit fully, and just to change, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes it change, you learn different things from different coaches
of course,
as well,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, even say Pascal's brother Steve, he went to different coaches and he said it himself, like, he wished me well, and we're still friends.
Yeah,
you get me?
but Pascal be that sort of a fella, he would
like,
be a good
and
fella.
Before the fights and after fights, he's wishing me well. It's just, you learn different things from different coaches, and Pete is kind of, with Pete,
is he very technical, like, or?
He's technical, he's been around the high performance, say, for 12 years now, going to camps in Ukraine and Cuba.
And he's created probably the greatest female boxer.
He has the blueprint for her, like, in that kind of way, which is, she's done, like.
Yeah.
So he's, not saying he created it, but like he's been through that with her.
That
kind of discipline, that passion, and even we'll say there's 3 of us in the gym. So in our gym in say Bray, there's me, or 4 of us, sorry, me, Gary Cully, Dave Oliver, and Sean Turner.
Right.
So Sean Turner was missing with an injury, so there's 3 of us kind of working together. And just say for instance, a pad session one day, we'd get slots, so you come in at 10:30, you come in at 11, I come in at 11:30, you know, you're getting a full half hour. Whereas in Pascal, you say 7 or 8 fighters, we're all there at the same similar times.
I get you, yeah.
Well, not being critical of Pascal, I was working full time, so I'd be arriving late at 5 o'clock, you know.
Yeah.
It's kind of all a combination of factors, and but I've gone to a place there in Bray.
It's like a fresh start, isn't it? Like,
if
you have,
It's a couple of little tweaks that have changed me completely. Like, we do 2 sessions a day out in Bray, and even the running sessions, like you'd say, we were saying walking together, like we're just kind of a new kind of team, but we'd say, I will do the running session at home.
Yeah.
But Pete's like, no, you're not going to push yourself at home. Like, he's there with a stopwatch, and we're doing
different
say,
story,
different story. You never do it at home.
Nah.
You never do it to the extreme. So just say we walked up the different sprinting regimes. We'll say that before the camp we done 10 800 meters with a minute interval, probably less than a minute interval, 45 seconds, as I always say, 15 seconds slower than that. So we done 10 800 meters within 3 minutes, like, so that's the kind of intensity. 3 minutes 800 meters, but say I was 15 seconds slower, so I'd start 15 seconds earlier than say the lads.
Yeah.
You're not going to I'd have to go. I didn't want to be getting caught by them. It's bad enough to give them a 15 second, but like one of the guys that's there, Gary Cully, he's like 6'3", lightweight, like his feet don't even touch the ground.
Yeah,
he's
like
I'm competing against him, killing myself.
Yeah.
So if you're doing that on your own, like you think you're at 100%, but you're only at like 90%.
Of course you can. You feel mentally.
One of Dave Oliver, he had a heart rate monitor on his hand, and you're up at 110%. The levels, like, so I'm killing myself in these running sessions.
Yeah.
Like blackout job, like, you know, kind of way.
Yeah.
But that's pushing me to new levels. With the 2 lads beside me, push me that kind of way.
And where in the fight do you feel that? Do you feel that like in round 6? Do you know what I mean?
It's the way it is with boxing. It's all mental. So I'm ticking the boxes. I know I've done that.
So you're confident, like.
Yeah, you know you've done it. Whereas before I had doubts. Say when I came back, say I lost that fight in England. I came back then and I had a fight with Bradley Price was his name, and I hurt him. I dropped him in the fight. And instead of jumping on him and finishing him and leaving, I had slight doubts that my tank wasn't there. Do you get me? Like,
I get
could
you,
blow out, and like you're not going in to finish him. Whereas now, you know you've done the work, so you know you can do it. You're not gonna.
Yeah.
That's the difference between. Like,
you put more weapons in your arsenal too.
Amazing, I'm pushing through boundaries, and the way it is, I'm looking forward to get back into training because I know in another 3 months to August like I'm gonna go on other levels again.
Yes, yeah.
It's exciting.
That's unbelievable. That's great that you're looking forward to training, like, because you know
I'll
you're.
tell you the way my mindset was with a fight. I'd be counting down the weeks with camp, like it's obviously sacrifice, can't go in, and you're kind of just wishing away the camp. Like the mindset was
Can't wait the shit's over.
Now all of a sudden with the pressure of walk off, my mindset is like I'm driving to Bray and I'm enjoying driving to Bray.
Class.
Like I'm loving it. Like
class.
Because I'm used to
plus with
going
the
to a building
goals,
site. I'm going to a building site and getting in trouble for not having paperwork and getting phone calls.
I know that feeling.
Do you know that kind of way?
You're stressed
and
out of your head.
I'm driving to do something I love. I say 11 o'clock is our first session. And I'm smiling there.
There's nothing like that moment, you know, when you're pulled up at the petrol station, like, and you're filling away and you're delighted with yourself and you're going off the train and now this is class. And you look up and you see some poor bastard about your age. You know, he's short as fucking, he's fucking hanging out. Like, his suit is wrinkly, he's going in, he's eating some shitty coffee and a donut. You know, he's got to take phone calls all fucking day in his company fucking van, and you're going.
He doesn't realise.
He doesn't realise how much he's. No, that's not saying.
We didn't even smoke, and you're kind of looking at them.
Oh, I have to swallow my no, shut the fuck up. No, here's the other side. We've both gone through the hard times too of what it takes to get to
10 years of walking to be in a financial position to give it up, like that kind of way. So we've seen all that, but I'm looking at that, and I'm really smug looking at it.
Yeah,
you know? I'm seeing, say, Snapchats or stories that say, "Oh, walk mates," and they're just grey in the face.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I bet lads.
It's very lucky, you know. You're doing the same.
Unbelievably lucky. What the fuck's sake? Thursday. Thursday,
like pretty shopping.
We're sitting upstairs in a comedy club drinking tea.
Yeah.
Eating fucking bickies, like, yeah.
You kind of have to. What I was doing, you kind of have to be in the present with it. It just dawned on me, kind of, you need to enjoy the process.
Absolutely.
So I'm really enjoying the process.
Yeah, because it's very easy to, at times too, like, I suppose, I don't know if it's an Irish thing or what, but it's very easy to kind of just focus on negative stuff too. Like, no, well, why the fuck aren't I getting this? It's like, no. Have a look at what you have right now. It's pretty class.
Grateful. Wake up, be grateful. Yeah. You know? Getting all fucking
stressed out.
We're getting all that. That's all like a new thing now, isn't it? Like all this positive thinking. And
absolutely, though.
It's coming around, isn't it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like,
it's like a trending as well, isn't it?
Well, you may as well, because what's the alternative?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Get pissed off at the weather. Like, the amount of people, Jesus, it's still raining. You're like, yeah, so fucking what?
It's Irish.
We've got jackets. It's fine, like, you know, like, you don't live outside. It's fine.
No, it's interesting. I'm kind of like, I'm very, very lucky to be doing something I love. And all of a sudden, like that fight that I won there is life changing in a way. Like,
yeah,
they're all going to be big fights.
Well, it affirms what you've been working towards, isn't it? It's like, that actually confirms.
Yeah, I took the time off work, say, I gave up my job, and that was like a payoff need. Because it was the first time I actually felt that I've achieved anything in boxing. Like, I was supposed to win that Irish title fight, like I was the favourite. Yeah. You know what I mean? I didn't put the work in. There was no sense of achievement.
So you just cruised through it?
Not that I cruised through it, it was still a difficult enough fight, but because I didn't have all the sacrifices and didn't do it, I just felt like you're going after a fight, say you're going back to the local pub and people are clapping, and you're just like, I don't even feel like
I get what you're saying.
I don't even feel like I've done that. I just felt embarrassed.
Yeah.
Because I didn't even commit fully.
Yeah.
I was embarrassed. Like.
Well, that's good that at least you had that mindset. Because another fella would be fucking delighted if he pulled off the smallest of the thing. I'm class, aren't I? Like, you know what I mean? There has to be a level of reality too, like, you know.
I was just like, jeez, there's nothing to it. I suppose you should have a sense of, but this is the first time I had a sense of achievement.
So you're absolutely delighted.
I was chuffed, I was.
Yeah.
And it was life changing as well, like. It was emotional after the fight.
Yeah, of course. Like, well, it'd be weird if you weren't. Like, you put in that much time and effort.
Yeah,
like.
Just gave a lot of sacrifices.
And it's also too, like, I mean, it's interesting like that. Like, you didn't walk away from a poxy job stacking shelves somewhere, like.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
It was a well-paid job, and what I did as well, which is interesting. What I did as well, like a lot of fighters go for broke kind of from the beginning.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
The pressure on that, I can only imagine the pressure now. I walked right, and I bought a nice property, like, got in a good position, that financially stable, like, done well with money, and I could take a step away in boxing, not needing to worry about bills, kind of.
Get you,
So I've done all that, plus with the backing of MTK. But could you imagine going into a fight, say my age 30, with nothing to go back on, no job, no house, and that's the difference between, like, this fight is the difference between, like, whatever your whole life, kind of, isn't it?
I suppose some people would argue, oh well, you know, it's back to the wall stuff and all that, you've got to make it fucking work. But I would be of the opinion that as an athlete especially, you need to be in a good headspace.
Yeah.
Because if you put too much emotion on a thing, you can blow out before you even go near it. Like, and that applies. This is talking with a mate of mine, and he played for Munster in Ireland, and he was talking like they'd won European Cups and stuff, but he said like they got to a final, I think it was 2005. Actually, the night before they all were poor toes sitting around in the hotel, and they were all saying what it means to them. So he said, lads, we're balling and everything beforehand. We were beaten before we ever went near the fucking pitch because they walked out against a bunch of French assassins who were just, it was another day in the park for them, like, you know, and they were spent mentally, like, you know what I mean, because they put so much pressure on themselves.
Yeah, you just built. Funny that you say that. The exact same thing happened to Stephen Ormond. Say, right, but he had like a plan in place.
The Rock.
Yeah, like an amazing fighter, but just say he had a bad loss there for the European title up in Belfast. His last fight he got beaten, but he did a brilliant performance and he got robbed. Remember when he got robbed?
Yes,
Say the one before that, right? He lost. I can't think of the guy's name, but he had the worst performance of his career.
Was it an American? No,
it was up in Belfast. It was up in Belfast in the war.
European.
I'll tell you exactly what was going on. He was to fight for the WO European title. Then he was to fight a world title eliminator. This is the plan in place. Then he's to fight for a world title.
Right.
So he had this backing from NTK. This was in place, and all of a sudden he put all this pressure on himself, saying, "Right, it's in my own hands now." And he put all this pressure on himself. This is my last chance. This is my last chance.
Yeah.
He was nearly saying that over and over. Down the dressing room, and you could feel in the dressing room. I was in the dressing room with Stephen, and it was just an awful tension about
I get you, yeah.
Do you know that kind of way? And he went in and he put so much pressure on that he just had the worst performance.
Just went into himself, like.
He just loaded up on everything. Didn't flow. It was just his worst performance. Just down to all the mental side that he kind of just said, like, this is my last chance. This is my last chance. This was like with Stephen. He puts everything into boxing. Do you get me?
Yeah.
So he was like, say, top level amateur, went straight into the pros, signed. Like he had a different pathway to me, working, say, full time for 10 years.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of way. So he put all this pressure. Then all of a sudden, that was gone from him, and he had this big fight again against Paul Hoyland on the Sky Sports show. So all the pressure's gone. Like he was talking, like, that's me finished, I'm retired, I didn't do it. And then all of a sudden the pressure was off then. Right. And he was flown in training. And he was actually working with a good sports psychologist who I work with, Alan Healy, excellent guy, but he went back into camp, started working with him. So he took the pressure off.
That was going to be my next question, actually, about sports psychology.
I'll talk about Alan again, but the difference in the dressing room between the two fights, I was in the dressing room both fights, was amazing to see, you know, that kind of
right,
way. Went into the dressing room before, it was like you're walking out with, you know, like a beheading kind of, like, just tension. It was awful feeling. Whereas the dressing room against Paul Hoyland, it was a better fight than the guy who beat him. Was easy, relaxed. This is like, I'm just gonna enjoy it. See the attitude, and you could feel it. You could feel it in there. Like, you could feel the difference. I knew he was winning, walking out. We were walking out the ring. It was just by chance that I actually got into the dressing room. I got a pass, and it was good to see, because I fought in the Odyssey after that. It was nice to actually experience that walk out. You know, the crowd. Yeah. Saw the crowd are abused, and Steve were in the corner, but it's amazing how much it's mentality is involved in it in boxing.
But I suppose that's it. You give you a bit of a small bit of mental tune up. You're like, alright, that's another thing I have to be prepared for. That's fine. Yeah. Shut these fuckers out. Like, yeah. So I walked with your man Alan Healy, and say at the end of the session, he does say a 10-15 minute, like, it's like meditation, hypnotising you. So you take deep breaths, relax on the seat, and he's going through the fight step by step. So you're in the dressing room, you're warming up, your legs are light, you feel like you know, your hands are getting wrapped. This is the best you've ever felt. This is just going into your subconscious. And you're walking to the ring, now the crowd are viewing
that's giving you energy, like, you know what I mean? Then you're in the ring, you've never felt better. Like, it's amazing, but it actually worked. If you look at photographs of my fight, I'm smiling walking to the ring.
I saw it, yeah.
In my subconscious, you know.
You looked like a fella.
Yeah, I was smiling.
Yeah.
I was actually smiling. Some amazing photographs. Whereas before the fights, the fight I lost against Dord, I'm in the dressing room, and say it was for the WBC international title. It was Dord beat me in a split decision in prize fight. This was me rematch. Your man Hearn took a shine to me. This was me rematch. It was a top 10 work. It was the exact same position I was in, say, before this WBO European title, say 2 years ago. So this was all built up. But I was in the dressing room and I'm banging my hands together, like thinking that I have to do this mad aggression. You know, so built up. I can't even remember the walk to the ring. I was just in a different mindset. Now the fight went well for the first round, but I was so built up that I dropped him heavily, say, and I went in to finish him. But I didn't even look at the corner, say. It was just so built up, like, it was just raw aggression going in. I didn't think.
Was it nearly fear of loss that you go, fuck, I have to get on this?
It's just it's just the instinct that you rush in. Like 9 times out of 10 I would have finished him.
Yeah.
But this time when I rushed in, he just like a Hail Mary punch from the ropes. He came up, hit me in the back